All right, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Pro Enzo Vidz, and this is our Breaker Podcast, episode 29. Look, I don't know where the intro is, but it doesn't want to load up for some reason, so I'm sorry about that. But anyway, we're doing the podcast now. That's all that matters. Episode 29. I am one away from 30. How about that, everyone? 1 episode away to 30 episodes. I can't believe it. So, joining me is our regular co-host, Rugby League Round Up, and special guest back on the podcast after being on here before many times in the past, Nick from Australia. So I'll start with you, Nick. Thanks for joining the podcast yet again, bro. And how's your day been, and how good the Cowboys been?
Well, thanks for having me on, bro. It's an honour to be on the Ankle Breaker podcast, and I'm looking forward to episode 30 next week. Maybe if you fellas were over the age of 18, you could have some alcohol, but unfortunately you can't be doing that. As for my day today, well, it was pretty miserable, nice and wet. It's raining really, really heavy up here in Lismore, and there's already signs of another flood coming, hopefully, but it hopefully doesn't happen. And as for my Cowboys, well, fuck me, we won 6 in a row. We're in third at the moment, equal second, flying at the moment. Got that blockbuster against Penrith on Friday night, which is going to be absolutely nuts. But overall, it's been a good season for the Cowboys, and everyone who had us to come last and finish in the bottom 4, stick that one up here. We're going great.
Oh, come on, bro. I didn't know what was going to happen this year. Anyway.
You got to
Anyway,
you just got to have you just got to believe in your team, and everyone's got belief up in Townsville, so it's great to see.
Yeah, no, it is. It is for you and the Cowboys. It's good to see them up there again, no doubt. And Billy, Rugby League Round Up, bro. Always a pleasure to have you on the podcast as always.
Yeah, thanks, bro. And I can't wait to get into this episode. Let's try.
Yeah, me and Eva. All right, so we've got a good also from what it looks like. Got 9 people watching the podcast inside 2 minutes, and now 10, so that's not too bad. And I'm going to go through the comments quickly. So we've got Luke Melbourne Store fan. We've got his name right, but it's the laureate for E-Money MMA picks, says Keenaz. Thanks for tuning in. Got Prippy, a very, very loyal in the chat. SS Storm fan. Everyone's here. We've got Warriors NRL Fanatics here too. So,
yes, Warriors
NRL.
You love to say it. Hang on. I'll do it again. I'll do the proper impersonation. Hello, everyone. This is Warriors NRL Fanatics back today with another video.
Oh god!
Fucking, you nailed it perfectly.
I was watching this video today.
Oh, I love him. He's a great bloke.
Anyway, yeah, no doubt. Anyway, this is the Anchor Podcast episode 29. So we're going to get into it right now. So the very first topic of the show is our 11 review. We're going to review the round of footy it was. Basically give our opinions on what we thought about the round itself. Now, we will, when we get to you, and we'll ask you about like what your thoughts on the round were. We will mention things we want to discuss with the Cowboys Storm game, like a situation. So we'll definitely talk about that. But I'll start with you, Rugby League Round Up. You give us your thoughts on the round it was. What did you make of it?
Yeah, well, the first game, I think it was pretty close towards the 50th minute, and then the Broncos just blew them out in the end. So, yeah, good on the Broncos.
Hang on.
Yep.
All right. So instead of doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, do you mind just give me like a quick thoughts on the round, like just a brief sort of saying what you thought about the round was, like what you like about it, like things you like and stuff like that. That's all, bro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Some of the calls were shit, like, being at some of the games, either they're just shocking calls. now I know that Chris Sutton has an agenda against the Dragons. And Storm lost, which, Nick will be happy about that, and a lot of people would. So I like that. And it was a very surprising week of footy with some upsets in this week. So, yeah, I actually didn't mind this week of footy. I thought it was a good round.
Yeah, no, I agree, bro. Thank you for that. Nick, what's your thoughts around all, and if you start doing that, what your thoughts were on that situation?
Well, mate,
That you're not too happy
I
about
thought it was a
involving
great round
Kyle
of footy.
Feldt
I
and
thought it was a very solid round of football. I got 8 out of 8 in my tips, so I hope you guys are all following my tipping video. I got 8 out of 8. I had a great weekend. I was a little bit worried about the Manly game because I thought Parramatta were going to lose that, but obviously Pro Enzo Vidz as a Manly fan would have been pretty upset with the way that game ended. What I did like about it was the fact that the Cowboys destroyed Melbourne. What I did not like about it was the poor old Bulldogs having to go through more drama. They have things could not get any bloody worse for the Bulldogs. You hate to see the Bulldogs go through all that drama. I love how the Dragons over the weekend played for Johnny Raper and they won. That was great to see as well. And I guess the other good thing as well is that the Titans lost again. So I really enjoyed the weekend of football.
Yeah, well said. Now, bro, feel free to talk about something that happened in the Cowboys Storm game. Like, you can take it away with what you want to talk about here and call out.
Well, look, I don't mean to be bitter, and look, I don't mean to be negative about this, but this is something that needs to be addressed. Go and watch the Cowboys Storm game over the weekend, and Melbourne Storm player Brandon Smith, I believe he crossed the line over the weekend, fellas. If you go back and watch the tackle on Kyle Feldt, I believe it was in the 15th minute of that game, he come in. It was very similar to a cannonball tackle. It was almost a hip drop as well. It was a very dangerous tackle where he came in, third man in, come in at the legs. It was completely uncalled for, unnecessary. Kyle Feldt's now out for 6 weeks because of that. And the other one that makes me really wild, and Tamalolo's one. Now, I think it was in the 25th or 26th minute of that game on Saturday night. Brendan Smith comes in, he grabs Tamalolo's ankles, and he just he twists his leg, and it was a really, really ugly look. And look, it's a bit of a coincidence, isn't it? Brendan Smith injures Kyle Feldt. Kyle Feldt's off. He's out for 6 weeks. Brendan Smith tackles Tamalolo, twists his leg, his ankle, and all that. Tamalolo's missing this weekend now because of that. So people are going to say, oh, there isn't much in it, but when the same player does it to Kyle Feldt and Tamalolo twice in a 10-minute period, then you question what's going on. So Brendan Smith, nothing but a low-life dog, and for all I care, he can go and have sex with some mermaids, the fucking dead shit. I'm so fucking pissed off about what happened, and I've got videos on my phone about it. I've got clips. I've got all sorts of evidence to back up my point, but Brendan Smith, nothing but a low-life, dirty dog cunt, and what he did to Kyle Feldt and Tamalolo was disgraceful, and I think he needs to be suspended for it. What a joke.
Yeah. All right. It's not now because that is disgusting as well. Not because it's the Cowboys and stuff like that, but it's a bad tackle. It is a bad tackle. It's something that I think is suspension worthy because I mean you can't get. I've seen plenty of times players tackle like that. I can't remember the last time someone did a tackle like it, but you remember when maybe some players had done that tackle before, tackle around the legs or tackle from behind and then just put them in a position where their knees are exposed all of a sudden, like a cannibal tackle, like you said, Nick. And that's
I'm
basically
just watching the Tamalolo one now, bro. It's right in front of me. I'm just watching it now, and Tamalolo puts on a little step, and he goes back towards the middle of the field. Brendan Smith's on a bit of an angle, comes in. Yeah. There's already Kenny Bromwich has already made the tackle along with I think it's Nick Meaney. And you just watch Brendan Smith. I mean, obviously I can't show the video because of copyright reasons, but Brendan Smith's grabbed Tamalolo's ankle. He's grabbed his foot and he's twisted his ankle, and he's got him in the tackle there where Tamalolo's down, and Smith's still got his ankle, and he just twists his ankle. it's a fucking low life act, man. It's a dirty act, and look, I've said this before. I've said it plenty of times. If someone's made a tackle and there's a third man in, you don't need a third man in when the player's already on the ground. Stay away from the tackle. It's just what he did on the weekend. I think was unprofessional, and I think he needs to be suspended for it. It's disgusting.
Oh, well, no doubt. I think anyone suspended either way, and I don't know why he doesn't get any sort of call out. I mean, I don't know if the judiciary teams called it out or seen it. I'm not sure, but you'd think that maybe someone would notice it. So
He plays for Melbourne. That's why.
Brandon
Fucking
Smith's gonna be
asshole.
sort of that. That's why. Yeah, he plays for Melbourne. It's protected. That makes a lot of sense. But anyway, not much we can do now. But it is a very bad tackle. But for me, yeah, I agree. The round was disappointing for Manly, obviously, but the round right. I thought there were some good games this week, like Cowboys winning. I thought other games like the Raiders played really well on Sunday was a highlight for me. How good they play now. Even Thursday with the Broncos Knights are in all sorts, and with Brisbane they're fine there. Yeah, the round for me was pretty good. I did like it, despite Manly losing. All right, let's get into the first real sort of stuff now. So it's really this discussion we're going to have over this. Now, it is a bit of a funny one. I was sort of just thinking if I should add this one in or not, because I don't know if it was a bit of banter. I don't know if it was legit. I don't know. But I tell you what, people like Buzz and have fun looking at these because they're going to speculate every single little bit on this whole thing. So, all right. I don't know if both of you have seen it. I don't know if you have both seen the video, but after the game, they couldn't show. They then because they'll have to go straight to Manly Parramatta after. What was, in case everyone or some people watching didn't know what happened, basically Matt Duffy, while Nathan was shaking hands with the Bulldogs players, and he basically like shouldered him. You know, when you get shouldered sometimes, like that. That's what happened to Nathan. Basically, Nathan grabbed Duffy by the collar and words of him. So I don't know, but there's a bit of hatred. I don't know if it's anything serious, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, does it mean that there is something going on in the Bulldogs? Like, does that sort of show that there's a toxic culture there? Things aren't right, and in general, does it really look like it's causing drama of Nathan's? I'll start with you, Rugby League Round Up. What do you think?
No way, not at all. I don't even. It's just banter, to be honest, because obviously I know Dufty as a player, and I've watched a few open training sessions. Yep. He's that guy that just wants to have a bit of a joke, And you even watched Fletcher and Hindy a couple of weeks ago, where Zach Lomax said, "Who would you rather save?" Then he said, "Bye, Duff." Like he didn't, he just said, "No way, Dufty," as a joke. And then the journalist from NRL 360 just took it way too sensitive, and they just can't take simple banter, and they always think something's toxic at the club. Obviously, I don't know if Brent and Matt Duffy are like friends in that. Maybe they did have an argument, but I just think it's banter, to be honest. I think it's banter. So, yeah, I'm not reading too much into the toxic culture thing. I think it's just jokes and stuff.
Yeah, right. That's pretty well said. I can't disagree with too much you said there. Nick, what do you think, bro? Do you think it was legit, or do you think that this was just a bit of friendly fire? I don't know.
Well, if Matt Duffy is so upset, why didn't Matt Duffy take out Brett Naden during the game? I mean, why after the game? The game's over. Fuck me dead. Don't go up to him after the game and try and start a little bit of a fight just because of a couple of things. I mean, fuck me dead. Obviously, something would have been said about, we're not teammates anymore, bye, and all this. Obviously, that's going to shit off. Duffy is going to shit off some of the Bulldogs players, but, I mean, do it during the game, not after the game. Come on. All you have to do is shake their hands and you can keep walking. You don't have to stay and have a conversation with them. It's simple as that. So,
exactly.
I think there isn't much in this. I mean, obviously, the media will have a ball with it, which I find funny, but What Naden did, leaving the Bulldogs to go to the Tigers in the circumstances, I thought was a bit stupid, and it does label him as a little bit of a traitor. But in saying that, he's just doing what's best for him and his family, really, at the end of the day. And Matt Duffy's obviously a bit sensitive, but whatever. Let him go. I've got no problem with it. Let him go.
Yeah, I suppose as well. Just I guess for Nathan's sake, he even said to Gus, and he approached the Bulldogs on Monday, saying that he wants to be a centre going forward because that's why he signed the club to be a full time starting centre with more opportunity. But I guess he didn't like the fact that he kept playing the wing and was told there's other young players like Karaz, for example, who might be a long term centre instead. So that's why he looked to get an opportunity out of the club and signed with Tigers. But I guess, like it says in the banner down there, if it was true, he did say we're not teammates anymore, goodbye, or stuff like that. That will, obviously cause something, and that's obviously not needed, especially if you want to leave the club for another opportunity elsewhere to play a position that you prefer. So I think what he said to his old teammates of the Bulldogs was unnecessary, but again, with the whole Duffy Native thing, it's kind of a bit of a storm in a teacup, to be honest, if that's the right term. So I wouldn't
Not
look too
much.
much into it. Exactly, not much into it. So, it was a bit interesting at first, but I don't believe there's anything too serious. They didn't punch each other or anything, so it's all right. All right, getting on to the next topic now. So this is one that's a bit closer to mine because it's to do with my club, and it's obviously a tough time we're going through with a couple of things. So, Manly. At the moment, as you can see down there, it says Manly are on 5 wins and 6 losses. So definitely definitely not as good as what we were going last year. If you look at last year's stats or what we looked like last year at this time, and just like we've been losing to pretty much every top 8 side so far. You get to beat one this year. Makes it harder when Turbo's out the rest of the year as well. It's been confirmed by the way that he is out for 5 months with a surgery on his shoulder, so that's going to hurt Manly a lot, I'd say, in some games. So the real question is, right, just going to ask you both this. Do you still see Manly make finals at all? Like, a Manly still a finals team despite having Turbo out for pretty much the whole season? Like, it's hard to really tell because obviously we rely so much on Turbo in terms of attack and scoring points, and he's just a big part of our team. So losing him is not going to be easy. So yeah, like just in general, like can Manly still make finals without Turbo for the rest of the year? I mean, we did it in 2019 for most of the year without him. No reason why we can't do it again, in my opinion. But I'll start with you, Nick. When you look at Turbo out for the rest of the year and looking at how Manly sort of are struggling with winning against big sides, can they still make the 8 in general, do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's still a chance for finals. I'm not going to put a pen through them by any means. When I look at their roster, they've still got a very, very good team. I do worry a little bit about the Origin period now. Obviously, there'll be no Cherry Evans and stuff like that. There'll be a few players out in Origin. But I think they'll be fine, bro. I really do. I think they'll be okay. I'm not so that concerned about Manly. Tom is a huge loss, but if Manly do make the 8, then it just proves that when people say no Manly, no Tom, no Manly, then that's bullshit. That's going out the window if Manly do make the 8. I reckon they're going to be between 7 and 12. I don't think they're going to go bottom 4. I can't see them falling that bad. So I just feel they'll be a team between 7 and 12. I reckon they'll miss the 8, but they'll be pushing for it. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, fair call, bro. I do think Manly can miss the 8 for sure. Like just looking at how the rest of the season is, despite having no Turbo, it makes things a lot harder. But it does take a lot of mentality to sort of overcome that loss and go again, I guess. But Rugby League Round Up, what do you think, bro? Can Manly make the 8 without Tom, and do you think they will?
They definitely can, and I think they will actually. I think they'll be around that 7th to 8th mark, I reckon. Because if you look at the ladder at the moment, it's from 12th to about 7th or 6th. They're all on 10 points. So this year, it's just that bottom end of the top 8 is going to be very hard and it's going to be very close towards the ends. And I think Manly will get a spot, I believe, even though poor Tom Trebojevic is out again, which bloody sucks because this guy's just been hammered with injuries for his whole career. So Yeah, unlucky for Tommy, but I think Manly, I think they should be used to having Turbo out now, and I think they'll actually be good for it if they make the 8. They'll people will stop calling them one man side and all that crap. So yeah, well, I'm hoping Manly can make the 8, not just for you, but for everyone else, for the fans, and so they can gain some confidence.
When's Jason Saab back, Pro Enzo Vidz?
Well, with Saab, it's interesting because he was scheduled to come back this week, round 12, but they're saying that maybe he will miss another week because it's a toe injury, so it's not an easy heal. But yeah, soon because we bit of pace, I reckon. But yeah, thanks Rugby League Round Up for that. I hope you're right with saying Mealy can make the 8 still. All right, look, I'm not going to touch on it for too long, forever and ever and ever if I keep talking about Manly, but I will say this though. This is what I will say. I think we can make the 8 because there's enough good enough players there. There's enough quality and skill to sort of get us there. With yeah, like you said, Billy, as well. We've already adapted many times without Tom, so I can't see why we can't go again and not win any other games without him. So I definitely think that it's about time we sort of just man up and sort of just realize that we are not a one man team and we just shut the critics up, and we've already proved that before. We never were a one man team. It's just that our structure is so built around Tom to do so much. That's why we lose often without him. So hopefully this time, whether it's Garrick at fullback, whether it's Weeks, I don't know who it would be. We'll find out tomorrow. Hopefully whoever's there does a job for the rest of the season and does enough to sort of help us get in the finals at least, because it is a big job. It's not an easy role to play fullback, but I'm sure that whoever plays there will do a good job, and hopefully going forward we're still competitive without Tom. So yeah, I do think we make the angel though in saying that. All right, on to the second last topic now. So this is a bit of a different one. I'm going to discuss this one because there was other things I could talk instead, but we'll discuss it anyway because we all watch Super League and have an idea of the teams there and everything, what happens there. So Thomas McCarley, I'm sure we all know who that is. Played for the Tigers, former front rower there. Has got an effective release to the Warriors and Wolves in the Super League. Didn't really think it was going to happen because Tigers at first were like they want to keep him for the rest of this season as depth, but it seems like he was, I guess, just wanting to get there already, not worrying about travel too much, etc. So yeah, it is a very interesting buy by the Warrington side. We've seen. It's interesting. I just want to point this out as well. So many players that don't really fulfill an NRL that go to Super League, like Hastings, for example. There's plenty of examples out there. Like Jay Field, for example, was killing it for Wigan, and he wasn't that effective in the NRL. I get the same feeling with McCarley because he was so hyped as a youngster to do so much in the NRL for the Tigers and everything, and he hasn't really failed, or he has failed to sort of live up to that hype, to be honest. So going to the Super League might be the best thing for him going forward. Who knows? And he might come back a better player. But Nick, when you see this, when you see McCarley and some Wolves, what do you make for the signing? Is it a good one? And do you think he'll come back to the NRL one day?
In the next 24 months, we're all going to be sitting here. Maybe in the next 12 months, we're all going to be sitting here going, why did the West Tigers let Thomas McCarley go? I know he hasn't really set the world on fire at the West Tigers. Well, I wonder why. The Tigers haven't had any great forwards for quite some time now. They haven't had any great, genuine middle props for quite some time. McCarley has struggled in a really weak and piss-poor team in the West Tigers. Now he's leaving, going over to Warrington, who are a team that usually are in the top 6, top 4, usually in the finals. I think it's a great addition to Warrington. I think he'll do a good job. Warrington have been lacking a quality prop. McCarley is not really a quality prop as of yet. He can become one. There's no doubt about that. I'm not sure if he'll be on the same level as what the likes of Jackson Hastings did, Jai Field, all these other sort of players that have gone over there, and Dylan Napa, Mitchell Pearce, and all these sort of players. But I think he'll be all right. He's going to Warrington. He's going to a strong club. He's going to play with some good forwards, the likes of Oliver Holmes, Ben Curry, and Mike Cooper, some quality forwards. So I think he'll do fine. But I guess we'll know in about 12 months' time whether Warrington, West Tigers. We'll know in about 6 to 12 months if West Tigers made a right call for letting him go, or they failed to let him go. But I think the Tigers should have kept him, to be honest.
Yep, I think we'll definitely see a lot of improvement from McCarley in the Super League. That's for sure. Rugby League Round Up, give us your thoughts on the signing of McCarley for the Warrington Wolves, and do you reckon he'll come back in the NRL with as a better player and a bit more of an improved sort of version of what do you reckon, bro?
Well, yeah, I rate him as a player. I think he's a good player, and obviously hasn't had much game time at the Tigers, and I think Tigers have just done him dirty in that way, because he's better than a couple of forwards they have that are actually getting some starts. So, yeah, look, I think it's best for Thomas to go to Super League, get a bit of a go, and probably go and make a name for himself over there, because if he does, then, well, he'll definitely be back in the NRL sometime soon. That's for sure. And he definitely has the potential for it as well. So, yeah, I wish him all the best in the Super League, and I hope he goes well. And yeah, hopefully he'll be back in NRL soon.
Yeah, well said. Look, quickly for me, I think he has. Look, I don't want to be too harsh on him, but I don't think he's done too much with Tigers. I remember 2009 to the scene in the off season, everyone was like, "Oh, look at Thomas McKaylee. He's going to be one of the best young players that they've ever had at the club, and will develop into some sort of great forward." Has he ever done that though? I don't think so. I think he's always been just a backup player who's come in or has been on the bench, and that's really it. So he has failed to fulfill and sort of just finding the best that he could have probably been in the NRL, but hasn't found it yet. So I agree with both of you. So hopefully at the Warrington Wolves, it's a bit of a better, easier competition over there. So hopefully he benefits from just going to a new sort of country and a new sort of just different environment, and hopefully that helps his game a bit more and he's better over time over time, yeah, basically. So I like the sign for Warrington, and I think the Tigers could regret if he finds the potential, if he can find, because he has had good games before, remember, he has shown patches of potential and good form. Just again, he hasn't really found it all at the moment. So hopefully, it is a very good move for him, and comes back in the NRL better play. If he does come back. All right, well, we're up to the very last topic of the show. So we concluded with the team of the week for round 11. So team of the week for round 11, we're all going to read out the size of the week. So, yeah, it was very tough for me because I had a lot of players in mind I could have picked, but managed to get a team anyway. So we're going to give our team of the week to everyone and give our player of the round as well. So Rugby League Round Up, go for your team of the week, bro, and who's your player of the round?
Well, I'll start with my team of the week, and I'm still trying to figure out my player of the round while I'm looking at the team, because there's so many good players in my team this week, and most of them deserve player of the round. But yeah, I'll start at fullback. I've got Scott Drinkwater. On the wing, I've got Selwyn Cobbo and Ken Mamalo. In the centres, I've got Moses Sully and Katoni Staggs. In the halves, I've got Jerome Luai and Ben Hunt. My front rowers are Payne Haas and Josh Papali. My hooker is Reece Robson. My second rowers are Jeremiah Anai and Isaiah Papali'i. My lock is Isaiah Yo. My bench is Junior Ramon, James Fisher-Harris, Michael Molo, and Cody Ramsey. So, yeah. And my player of the round is... I've got to go with Ben Hunt, to be honest, because, he's carried our team this season so hard, and he's second on the Dalium leaderboard. So, yeah, he's had a really good season, and he was outstanding on the weekend for us. He had a big impact on our win. So, yeah, he's my player of the round.
Yeah, all right. That's a pretty good team. So, yeah, thanks for that. Nick, what's your team of the week, bro, and your player of the round?
Well, I actually didn't write it down, so I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm just going to go off the top of my head. So I'm just going to go fullback. I'm going to go with Scott Drinkwater. On the wings, I'll go with Ken Mamalo and Selwyn Cobbo as well. I thought they were both terrific on the weekend. In the centers, I'll go with Zach Lomax and Zach Lomax and Sebastian Chris. I thought they were both excellent on the weekend. 5'8", Jerome Luai. Halfback, I'll go with Jackson Hastings at halfback. In the front row, I will go with James Fisher-Harris and Josh Papali in the front row. At hooker, I'll go with Reece Robertson from the Cowboys. Second row, I'll go with Hudson Young and Jeremiah Nanai. At lock, I'll go with I'll go with Patrick Carrigan. I thought Carrigan had a great game on the weekend. And on the bench, I'll go with Farmunu Brown from the West Tigers on debut. I thought he was great. I'll also go with Isaiah Papali'i. I'll also throw in Tom Gilbert on the bench as well. My final player, I'll throw in on the bench. Last player I'll throw in. Let's throw in Toby Rudolph. Thought Rudolph was great on the weekend as well. And player of the round, I'll go with Drinkwater. Thought he killed it against his former side, Melbourne, on the weekend. So I'll go Drinkwater, player of the round.
Yep, I like that team too. Thanks for reading it out. All right. Well, unfortunately, you're not the only one that's going to be doing the old-fashioned guide. So usually I read the team off that. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to say it from the head. But I do remember the side, so it's all good. I do remember the side and what I picked. So at fullback, I believe I had Cody Ramsey as my fullback of the week. My wingers were, I think I had Cobbo on one wing and I had Garrick as the other winger. My centers were Moses Sully and Katoni Staggs. Were Jack White and Nico Hines. My props were Josh Papali and Payne Haas. My hooker was Reece Robertson as well. My backroom, Papali'i and I. My lock was Ryan Madison. And on the bench, I had Lachlan Miller, Hudson Fisher-Harris, and I think I had Ruben Cotto as my jersey 17 as the last one. And my player of the round was actually Cody Ramsey, I thought. Ramsey was very good at fullback, and I do see keeping him there going forward. And Rugby League Round Up, I'm sure you're happy about the performance of Cody Ramsey. Would you keep him at fullback going forward?
Long term, I don't know because I still want to see him keep his consistency because obviously one game doesn't prove what you can do in a season. Yep. So, look, yeah, I'd give him a next month in the fullback position, see what he does, see if he keeps his consistency. If he doesn't, well, we've played literally everyone we could at fullback, and next might be Jack Burt, to be honest. I think that's what Griffin might think. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope he keeps his spot because obviously he will this week, and I think he deserves it. And yeah, I feel bad for Sloan though. I do feel bad for Sloan. I think he's a good player, but obviously he's still learning the game. So hopefully he's played winger in reserve in his junior grade, so wouldn't mind seeing him there either.
Well, if it ain't broke, then don't change it, I think, because I think what's happening right now, Ramsey at fullback, just keep it how it is, and that's the best thing for Dragons going forward. But anyway, that brings it into the Ankle Breaker podcast, episode 29. I just want to say thank you to everyone that watched the podcast. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to both channels, Rugby League Round Up and Nick from Australia. Their links to the YouTube channels are both in the description down below, so please go and check them out if you haven't already. Yeah. Lads, thank you both for joining. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, bro. And Cowboys 13 plus, keep the roll going. 13 plus.
Good chance, I think. And thanks, Billy, as always.
Thanks, mate. Dragons 40-0.
Well, 40-0. That's a big one. Anyway, I can't say 13 plus or 40 for me either. I think it might be the opposite. It might be Storm who actually get that many points. Who knows? Anyway, that brings it to the podcast. Thanks for watching. See you next episode. Episode 30 is going to be a big one. So see you then.